Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
As we all know that we have completed the chapter which was the body movements. Today I'm going to define a subtopic from the very topic which is the skeleton system. So what is the skeletal system? Skeletal system is the framework of our body. I'm going to be talking about the human skeleton. You should know that our skeleton is made up of long and short bones. There are a lot of bones in our body which are able to move because of our joints. There are many joints like hinge joint, pivot joint, ball and socket joint and fixed joint. These are the joints which help us to move. If there won't be these joints, our body won't be able to move because our bones are very hard. So there arises a question, if our bones are hard, how are we able to move? It's only because of the joints, which will be defined very soon by my classmate Tanzia. So let's get a bit deep in this chapter. Let's talk about different animals and their skeleton. Let's talk about birds. Birds have a skeleton which is a bit modified than the human skeleton. Their forelimbs are modified into the wings which help them to move. Their bones are very soft. That's why they are very light, and because of that they are able to move.
And today I'm going to share brief information about the skull, which was one of the topics in the chapter body movements. So do you know what is skull? It's a part of our skeleton system. Now, can anyone of you tell me that what do you mean by the skeleton system? Anyone? Okay. Skeleton system is the framework of our body. It supports the body and it consists of the bones, joints, cartilage, ligaments and tendons. Skull is also one of the parts of the skeleton system. The main function of the skull is to provide protection to the brain. Inside the skull, there is a cerebrospinal fluid which protects the brain from the external harms. The skull is made up of 22 bones, 8 bones for the cranial region and 14 bones for the facial region. The skull is having a fixed joint in it which doesn't allow the movement of the skull. For example, whenever we move our head like this, it is not the skull moving, it is the neck moving with the help of the pivot joint present in it. The skull also has only one movable joint, that is the lower jawbone, or we can say the mandible. As you can see, this is the mandible. I'm able to speak with the help of this mandible. Now I'm going to tell you the bones that I have mentioned here in the skull. First of all, this is the frontal bone, parietal bone, temporal bone, styloid, mandible, or we can say the lower jawbone, maxilla, zygomas, sphenoid. So that was all I shared with you. Thank you.
So today my topic is about a very important topic, that is the rib cage, and it is a topic in our chapter namely as body movements. So first of all, I will tell you what the rib cage is actually. It is a bony structure that protects our heart and lungs. In humans, it is present in humans. Yes, it is present in humans, and it has a sternum that it has 12 pairs of ribs that is connected to the sternum, and from the back it is connected to the backbone. So it's also having cartilage. There is a part which all the ribs are connected, that is the vertebral column or the sternum. It consists of the manubrium, its little body, and the xiphoid process. These rib cages are also having some costal cartilage. So this was all that I can say you about the rib cage. Thank you.
As we know that we have completed our chapter, that was the body movements, and in that we have read about the joints, and I'm going to talk about it, that is the joints. First of all, I'm going to define what are joints. These are the places where two bones meet together at a same place are known as the joints. If we will talk about the types of joints, there are many types of joints. For example, ball and socket joint, hinge joint, pivot joint, gliding joint, or we can say sliding joint. First of all, I'm going to define the ball and socket joint. It allows the movement in the all directions, just like you can see it is present in here. It is present here, and it allows the movement in the all directions. Next one is the pivot joint. Just like you can see here, the movement just like this. Here is the pivot joint, and it helps in the flexibility of our body. Now is the gliding joint. Do you know another name for gliding joint? It is sliding joint. Here the bones just slide over each other, and it is present in our wrists, or we can say the ankles. Now is the hinge joint. It is a type of joint in which the movement is just like back forced, just like it is present in our elbow, and its movement is just like it. I hope you liked it. This was all for today. Thank you. Today my topic is on brain. Do you know what is the brain? The brain is the master organ of our body. It commands the functioning of all parts of our body. It looks like the seed. It is protected inside the cranium, or we can say brain box. It is the internal organ. First of all, you should know what is the internal organ. The internal organs are the organs which are inside our body that we cannot see. For example, heart, liver, kidneys, etc. So, the brain has three parts, which are cerebrum, medulla oblongata, or brain stem. We will discuss here cerebrum. The cerebrum is the largest part of brain. It regulates the functioning of eye, ear, nose, tongue, etc. It also regulates our intelligence and our memory. The second one, which is cerebellum. The cerebellum, it lies below the cerebrum and controls the voluntary actions such as actions of legs, arm, etc. So it keeps us balanced also. The third one, which is medulla oblongata or brainstem. Medulla oblongata is bulb-shaped and controls the involuntary actions such as actions of heart and lungs. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As we are already aware about the chapter, namely body movements, so today I'm going to give you a little information about the shoulder bone. So first, let's talk about the shoulder. Shoulder is that part of our body which contains ball and socket joint, and it allows the movement in all the directions. Now let's talk about the shoulder bone. Shoulder bone is formed by the collarbone, shoulder blade, and humerus. The shoulder bone is flat and large. Now let me tell you the names of some parts that are present in the shoulder bone. They are clavicle, scapula, humerus, radial fossa, etc. This was all about it. Thank you. As we are already done with our chapter, the body movements, so many of your friends have discussed about different topics, so I'm going to discuss one of the topic, which is the vertebral column, or we can say the backbone or the spine. Do you know it's a very important part of our body as it helps us to bend and stand still. And do you know it protects our spinal cord. What is spinal cord? It's a thick bundle of nerves and it is connected to the brain stem. It gives us the commands to the reflective actions. For example, if we are touching a hot iron, we remove our hand immediately. This is because of the spinal cord. Now it's having these bones. First 1 to 7 bones are known as cervical bones, and then 1 to 12 are known as thoracic bones, and there are 5 of lumbar and 5 of sacrum. And at last is the coxal bone, which is at the end of our backbone. Now the first bone of the backbone is known as atlas, and the second is known as axis bone. In this cervical bone, in this 6th bone, it's the rib fact, and in the thoracic bone, from the 2nd bone to the 4th bone, it's intervertebral discs. Then in this thoracic, it's the intervertebral foramen, which starts from 5th toe and ends in 8th. Now in this thoracic, another one is spinous process, which is from 9th to 12th. Now in lumbar, it's the transverse process from 1st bone to the 3rd bone. So this was all that I could say. Thank you.